everyone. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of @fmtraining.tv, where every day is a great day about the FileMaker platform. I should say Claris FileMaker platform because that's the company who makes it. We have a guest speaker with us. Monkeybread will be here momentarily. With that in mind, Jesse has already asked a question today. Can you anchor an object to something that isn't the side of the window? That's a really great question. I don't think so. You can kind of have it center and float in the center, and you can have it anchor left or right to the layout edge, but I don't think you can anchor it to another object. That's a great question. I don't think so is the answer.
Yeah, I can't help that.
You can't help with that. You can't help with that.
Yeah, with the layout engine, no.
Yeah, with the layout rendering, right? Yeah. Jesse says, yay, and both the same. But it's a great question, because here's the thing. When that comes up, and you ask me that question, that means that probably a bunch of other people have that question, and I've actually had that question, and then Claris brings up a topic or a question, or say, hey, Richard, what do you think? And I go, well, there's people on the live stream who don't like this. See, if you don't tell me what you do and don't like or where you have problems, I can't communicate that back to Claris. Christian Schmitz, I'm going to quit sharing my screen. We're going to go switch to your screen or stop sharing. This is Christian Schmitz. He makes Monkeybread products. He is really great. He swears that no monkeys were harmed in the creation of his product.
No, anyway, but they are my best co-workers. They're here all day,
best co-workers. So, Christian Schmitz, what are the most common questions you're getting lately? Is some of them about printing? Is that what we're talking about today?
Oh,
what are we doing?
Printing. Yeah, a lot of people want to print and change paper formats and things.
Okay, but you can already Okay, you can already print in FileMaker. So,
so I have to add that the people on this live stream sometimes suggest new functions for the plugin, and so I'm adding them.
Really?
As well as when we go to a conference, there's often in past conferences, I made spontaneously maybe a little presentation on the end of the conference to show 3-4 functions which have been created at the conference. Do we have any questions?
Well, besides the anchoring thing, anyone you have up front have questions before he starts go? Alpha Coburn 73, is it possible to place a stamp on a PDF in the location of a mouse click via the web viewer, or would you grab the coordinates and place the annotation via DynaPDF or similar? That one's okay. You want to go? That's a great question.
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. Yeah.
So we're talking about, yes. How do we put a stamp, a watermark on a PDF? The location. Hey, Alpha Coburn 73, is the spot always going to be consistent, or is it where you want to click and then it does it? Like you say, please set this, and then you click and then it does it.
So the usual problem is that we have to translate from the position where you click to the screen. And I think we have 2 examples for this. So here, crop as clicks. So I need a picture. Where do I get a picture? Oh, pictures folder. So let's take some picture again. Don't have a record. Okay.
There we go. All right.
No. So I have a picture here, and when I click on the picture, I want to get directly from the coordinate of the mouse the position in the picture. And that's a very difficult task. So in this example, we click on 2 positions in the container. We translate the mouse coordinates from the window from the screen to the window to the container, calculate the position in the picture, and that's a lot of math. And then we can use the coordinates we defined to crop. So let me show you the script.
Well, that's for cropping, but what if he wants to put a watermarker or something on top of that area, right? We have to combine it with another demo, right?
Yeah. So that's the math here. So we have to click. So when we click, we ask FileMaker, where is the container on the screen? So the container has a name. Like I love to give objects names here. So it has a name because it's image, but you could also have.
Okay, hang on. I was covered over. Okay, I'm going to move your face down. Can you go back to layout mode and show the name again? Because your face was right over that spot.
This is the item image, the field named image, and we ask FileMaker, where is this thing on screen?
Okay.
Very important. So we get back the field bounds
Yeah,
from
but
the
you didn't
field
name
bounds
it.
function.
You didn't name it. You have to name it up there in the top corner. Are you saying you don't have to name it?
Actually, I don't have to name this because this thing is already named image because it's the image field.
Okay, so
So
I'm
I
thinking up
didn't
there
write
that
a
spot
name
right.
here. And if you
Yeah,
by
that
click,
spot
of
right there.
course, usually we do that. But even as we don't have a named image, FileMaker will still find it because it's a field
Ah,
image. It will search the name here and the name of the field.
okay.
One of the little details. So we get coordinates. We get 4 coordinates: left, top, right, bottom.
Hmm.
And we have to use a function like middle words to get the actual numbers. And then we can calculate the width and the height of the container. So we know how big it is. Then we need to know the inset. So you see there is a little space here between the border of the container and the content.
The padding of it or whatever that piece
Yeah.
is, right? Yeah.
I think is it an option here?
It should be.
Somewhere,
You select it.
somewhere here.
The image, tooltip. Yeah, you should have the padding down there or something like that at some point.
Yeah, somewhere it should be.
Yeah, it's at the top up there in the style. You go up the top and you select that. So you got the group internal. Yeah, you're in a group right now. You need to get out of that. Can you get to the actual container?
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Do
on
we
the
have here
left.
ungroup also?
Yeah, you're just going to ungroup it for now.
Ungroup?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then click. There's the container. There's your padding right there. 8888, 4/8.
888. So
So,
okay.
so
And line with 1. So we know it's 9 points difference to the border. So we have to discount that. So we get the inner width. And then we ask our FileMaker, how big is this picture? And then we ask the position on the window. So we ask where is the window? So window left plus and window top. There's 130 points for the toolbar on top, usually with the menu bar. Then we can calculate the aspect ratio of the container and of the image, which will tell us whether this image is in the center, like if we have more space on the left and right, or more space on the top and bottom.
yep.
And then we can do some more math to calculate the image width of the image in the container.
Okay. So the point is at the end we get to the coordinates that are specific over that image after all this is done, right? Yeah.
And now we got container delta x, delta epsilon, which is basically the show all. Hey, where's my picture? Oh, that's the wrong example. So we get this edge here on top left.
Yeah.
With all the calculation, this edge here. And then we need that because now we can actually take the mouse coordinates on screen minus the delta,
Yep.
and we can scale it back to the image size in the container. And now we have an X and a Y coordinate.
Okay, so Alpha Coburn 73, you don't have to build all this. This is a sample file that's available as part of Monkeybread, right? So you're just going to steal all this code and roll it in, okay? Yes?
Yeah, I spent hours until this was right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we save the coordinates if we are at the first or second point, and we switch between the fields. And once we have fields, the cropping is quite easy because we can just take the coordinates and then here call the crop function to just pass in the coordinates of the rectangles we like to keep. And then
perfect.
Yeah. So this
what is this called? This is called crop with clicks, right? Crop with clicks.
Yeah, crop with clicks and the graphics magic example file.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take to solve Alpha Coburn 73's question, we're going to take the clicks part, then we're going to glue it on a watermarking example.
So the example here, let me just drop in some PDF. No, forward in here, convert to image. Yeah. So it doesn't scale right. So the idea here was now we had a customer where we loaded a map of a house, like a construction plan,
Mm-hmm.
and we clicked on things that needed fixing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can click here and get points. This is similar to the COP example. We convert the points on screen to show them, and we write down the coordinates.
Okay. I have a
And
question.
then,
Is this Windows compatible? Is this generally Windows
yeah,
compatible?
that should work
Okay.
on Windows. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I already
And
see
then,
Big Valley Aviation wanting this right now. I already see uses for this.
yeah. And then you have maybe a picture or demo text, or you like to stamp it maybe with a picture or with some text, and you just put the text wherever you like on the page. Like in this case, insert an image on the X and Y position on the PDF page.
I'm muted. I'm waving my hands here. We would have got the X and Y from the other example file where we did the image, the clicky point thing. So you're going to glue the code off of that one into this one down here. So Alpha Coburn 73, that's kind of the answer. Now, do we have to have DynaPDF to make this work with the watermark on there? Is that a DynaPDF library function specifically?
Yeah, if you edit, if you want to edit the content of PDF pages, we do that with the DynaPDF function.
Got it. So that's why I remember I bought DynaPDF. I haven't used it too much, but it's actually on Margaret's and I's very short list to work on. Christian, I'm running this live stream, but I'm actually using your product and I love it. And it's like I feel like I'm like the PR department for the company, your Monkeybread company. So yeah, no, it's awesome.
Okay.
Well, you can smile, but I love promoting people who make great products. I love promoting great products. So now what are we doing?
Okay. The next thing would be because you asked about text, so I just opened the example here for adding page numbers. So if you need to write
let's
text,
say that you can do page number, but then, what if I had just a string of text, right? Because I definitely have to do that too. Just a string.
The easiest way would just to use the write text function. So a write text function, you give it an X and a Y coordinate, some text. It will use the current selected font. You just put the text on the page.
So there's a function that you call right before this to set the font and the size, right?
Set
right
font
there.
Function.
There you go. Margaret, are you seeing this? Because this is all stuff we have to do very near future.
Yes, I am seeing it.
So Helvetica 12 is our default font anyway. So because with the plugin, I had customers who tried to write text and then got an error that no font is loaded. So the plugin sets a font by default.
I got to put text on a picture. So I put black text on a picture, but it's a picture of a dark jet engine. So the black text goes on the picture and no one can read it. Can I make a white reverse background? Oh, set fill color. So I can set that to like white, that next line right here. Where's my edit? Yeah.
For example, here, you can set a color.
Yes. Yeah. So then this would be, let's read this. The font's Helvetica 12, the text with whatever, PDF fill color. Okay, wait, you have two fill colors there. What's it? There's one above.
Well, we draw a rectangle here.
wait.
So this draws a rectangle of the text.
Yeah.
So you see the word block here. So we have here coordinates, X, Y. We have some text. We set a font. We measure the width of the text. So we can make a rectangle, which is a little bit more to the left, to the top, a little wider than the text, and a little bit higher. And we fill it with a light gray color.
Yes. Okay.
And
but
then
what's that line then? How is that line different then? That's another fill?
Yeah. So we pick the color for the rectangle and we pick the color for the text.
There's a big gray box. Inside is a smaller blue box. And inside the smaller blue box is black text, right?
No, it's a light gray box with blue text.
Okay, so set fill color is where, okay, so that is the text color right there. So set fill color is the text color. So in this.
So you must know text has usually a drawing mode.
Yeah.
And the drawing mode defines how text is drawn, and text can have a fill color for the inner parts and a draw color for the outline of the text.
I have a really stupid question. How hard is it for you to glue that in and run this code as is?
Well, I can modify an example for you.
Can you do
Let me
that?
see.
Just because I want to see that happen.
So we have text draw mode. We see there's no example for this, but let's say, so we have different drawing modes. Let's just say this example puts page number on top, okay? So let's add this example, edit this example a little bit.
Hey, it's NJ. How's it going, NJ? From Australia. Awesome.
Start page 1. End page, we need a font. Make it a little bit bigger so you see it.
Okay.
So we get a text draw mode here, stroke. We may need a color, but color is black usually, and so text, no, that's too complicated, just a normal text. X and Y is maybe 100 by 100. Let's see where we end, and hello world.
Okay.
So let's run it, and you see there's hello world.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's
okay.
So
it's still behind it.
That's an interesting style. I haven't seen that style on the Mac in a long time. It's an outline mode.
Yep. So let's add a few more modes.
So that's stroke. When you said stroke is that outline? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have normal mode, the usual way. Fill color is used.
Yeah. Stroke is an outline of the glyph.
Stroke. So we have stroke and fill, which allows us to, well, basically use two colors. So let's see. Set auto completion needs set fill color $PDF. Let's say red, and stroke color. Let's make this blue. See what happens. Not sure if you can see that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a blue edge around it. Can you just zoom in on that? Yeah, just do something there. Make it run it again. Can you hit command plus on your? Will that work on this layout? No. Command plus. Can you make the layout
desktop
bigger? Yeah, there's a really nasty little blue edge around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good when it's that big, but when it's small, then it's not so great. This is awesome, Sauce. This is great. All right, so Alpha Colburn 73 asked a follow-on question. He's got bad internet. Can I assign the stamp with a primary key? You can put any text in there you want, right? Christian, just go back to your script and then don't move. Go back to your script there, and okay, hold. Don't move. See where it says hello world on line 34? Alpha Colburn 73, that could be a variable or a field or whatever you want. And so, yeah, he's writing all this out, but this is the kind of, it's pretty straightforward. So, and then having a pop into a card window, the card is a layout that that's superimposed on top of another layout. You're talking about putting that. We did the whole thing where you selected the coordinate, right? So the first thing you have to do is show the container. It doesn't matter if it's on a card or not a card. You show the image in a container. You activate the plugin, and I'd have to go through that activation, but you activate it and it tracks where you put the cursor at. Then you click. It's going to grab those coordinates. It's going to do a bunch of math to figure out where you clicked on the image. Then it's going to run this code on this screen right here to lay it on there. And then I have a question. After you write this on there, is there like at the bottom of this, is there like a save the P? When we wrote this on here, did we resave it? And then right there it is, save PDF. And DynaPDF release is a memory release. Is that what that is?
Yeah, we save it first here in a variable. Then we clean up memory.
Yeah.
And then we can put it in a field. We can, of course, put it directly in a field, but usually I have something like here. If it's error, then something went wrong. And on success, I put it in the field.
Okay, so at the end of this, he's going to read this in, and you have to go to the script a little bit, but most of this code's all built here for you. So the answer is yes, this all works. So the answer is yes. I always like when I go to a live stream or I go to a customer and they say, can I blah, blah, blah. And I say, yes, you can. That's awesome. I love doing that.
So we have a lot of people using DynaPDF to post-process the PDFs made by FileMaker, like adding clickable links, adding additional pages, adding text on top.
I hadn't thought about
page,
that. Makes perfect sense. You know, augmenting a PDF in FileMaker with extra goodness inside. All right. Questions about this is a listen. This is and this is for Jesse, but everyone else. We talk about skill set. I'm going to bring up a screen here real quick. This is to this conversation. So if you look at the continuum of FileMaker developers, this is a part where you can take a quick break, Christian, and have a drink or something. So you have brand new FileMaker developers, intermediate, senior developers. So it's kind of this progression from left to right. It used to be that doing PDFs at all was like kind of hard. Then it became easier. But then as customers start demanding their PDFs to do more and more and more and more and more. And so as an intermediate developer, you really have to almost be able to really manipulate the PDFs, you know, watermark them, notate them, crop them, do all sorts of stuff with them. Not just PDFs, but images too. So this, while it might seem very seniory, this is kind of what I would consider any more almost low-hanging fruit that as you become an intermediate developer, something you're going to be expected to do. I was trying to frame this. I think this PDF conversation is in manipulating PDFs, which is kind of this idea of printing, right? But because that's how PDFs are printed, right? You can save as, but at the end of the day, it's effectively a print job, right? Margaret, you have a question? You're in the middle of doing this stuff. No questions?
The PDF stuff, I'll have questions those come up, but I thought something would be interesting is that people are always asking about email, what MBS does with email, or at least whenever MBS and email comes up, people get confused very quickly. So going over some of those sample files might be interesting.
I don't use MBS for email. It's one of those moments where I use a 360works product for that, but email is such a pain in the ass, and it's not anything that we can do about it. It's all the security stuff that goes on the internet because people, like the other day, Claris got snagged by this. Claris sent out a bunch of emails on a campaign and they bounced. They all bounced. They were rejected by Google as not being authorized, right? But what it is that Jacob's been through the show and we've talked about all these things you do to authenticate that the email is authentic and not just a spam. It's like, you know, Christian Schmitz says you need a renewal of Viagra, Richard. I'm like, well, Christian Schmitz should know or whatever, right? It's kind of weird, right? And it's like, is that authorized? Oh, Christian Schmitz would never send me an email about Viagra. So who's doing that? That's the whole idea with all this bad malware, phishing stuff that goes on. People create fake emails. Stuff like if someone sends me an email that has helicopters on it, I'm going to click the shit out of it. Just doesn't matter. The email security is a giant mess, and so there's things that you do to authenticate that, and even big companies get snagged by not keeping up with these changes. That's where most of the challenges come from. We talked about this before. Do we want to save that for another day, Christian Schmidt? I don't want to derail the PDF print conversation.
Like.
Yeah, it seems
the important thing for me is that we put on I'm not sure how this was called, DNS records.
Yes,
so
DNS.
We declare which server is allowed to send emails from Monkeybread software.de. So I sometimes see that if I send some people an email and they forward it to another email, then the server will say, oh, no, you can't send an email from Monkeybread software. So the forwarding needs to be different.
Yeah,
but it prevents anyone with just sending emails and pretending to be my server.
Yeah, there's SPF records that go in, and there's DKM or DYK or whatever. It's two acronyms that have to do with this. Basically, it's not that technically difficult, but you need a fairly technically sharp person to help you implement it. When we were dealing with Big Valley Aviation, their IT people was an outsourced managed IT provider. Their Windows shop, but they were nice people, but they didn't know about this or know very much about this whole authentication with this SPF stuff and the DKM stuff. And so,
if you're sending with your normal email account, you may get blocked if you send more than 100 emails per hour, maybe.
Well,
so you need.
Yeah, and in order to send more, Google has an automatic cap on stuff, but you do these. You add extra stuff to the DNS, Christian. It's really crazy. I'm sure you know about this, but yeah, it's something that Jacob Taylor was wrestling with because we send out all these e-messages about what's going on in the live streams, and we don't want our messages to. If it bounces because someone's moved or they died or something happened, that's fine, or they want to unsubscribe, fine. But having a bounce just because Google thinks that Richard, may not be authorized is just kind of funky, and that's what we're always trying to fight with. So,
how do you make an interactive form with MBS plugin and PDFs?
So yeah, well, DynaPDF here, forms example, and we have a nice example file here, and we have a matching blog post, so you can read about it.
I thought we had you snagged. That was great. That was great.
We can create PDFs. We wrote a little custom function, create text field. Let me see, what does a custom function do? So just a little helper function. Oh yeah, this is clever. So we have this template here. And on the template, we are looking for the text of the field name. So first name is here. We are looking on the page for the text first name, asking the plugin where it is. And then we use the coordinates of that to put a text field next to the label here on the right. And yeah, give it a style even. So let me run this little script. Okay, so we have very visible form fields here. So they're all beveled. So this script just creates form fields into an existing PDF, which allows your customer to actually make this PDF with maybe Word, LibreOffice, whatever, or even FileMaker. And you can just load whatever PDF the customer provides with their company logo and put fields on it. Now, once you have a PDF with fields, either made with DynaPDF or made with an editor like Acrobat, you can then have a record in FileMaker and export it into the PDF fields. So we have the set text field value function. We have other functions for other field types, like for setting a checkbox or a pop-up menu. But basically here you pass in the field name, the value, and there's also a value for alignment. So you can fill the values, and then you have a PDF with the values. And then you can, for example, send this PDF to your customer. And in a hidden field here, ID, let's see, ID. So the ID field is here special because it gets flags to make it hidden, read only, invisible, and to not show it. So 3 ways to hide it, and we make it read only. So that's a field invisible to the user, and it contains.
What's the difference between invisible and no view?
Yeah, that's. I don't know what the people at Adobe did over the time, but they defined that a field can have a hidden flag and an invisible flag. So and a no view flag. If one of the flags is set, it should not be visible. So
that was really a good question.
So you know, when one team implements a flag to hide something, another team then implements a visible flag later because they didn't find one. But I don't care much. I just exported the record, and here it is. So I have all the values here.
That's
and now
cool.
the customer may say, "Oh, I changed my name here. I'm now Mr. Miller," and then save the PDF. Sends it back to you, and then back in FileMaker, we use here the import script to pick the field and then update the record. Oh, wait, this imports this new one because we got a new ID. So let's see, this is the old record. So import changes, of course. And now we stay in the record because it's the same ID and it's now named Miller. So let's see how it works. So we have a function to get information about a field, and one of the values we can ask is as a value, so the text content of this field. And so we can just put it in our fields. And when we want to do an update, we would first read the hidden ID field, then make a FileMaker search to find the matching record, And if we found one, we update the fields. So this is something we did years ago, and some, well, FileMaker developer use it, so they can send the customer a PDF with their record. The customer can update it and send the PDF back.
Yeah, another technique I've seen for people working with this is to send them the PDF with this exactly the same, but then they can fill out the PDF. It does a submission to a web form that goes back into FileMaker, so you don't have to retrieve the PDF is another thing you could do. So, and I'm not in any way saying don't do one or the other. It's whatever the best fit is for your organization.
So let me find submit. So we had this thing, submit action. So we can actually create a button on the PDF to submit it to the server, to a PHP script. Maybe.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. This thing. Yes.
That's something we did before. So if you want, you can even include such a submit button. So when the user clicks it, it will send the whole PDF or just the XML file with the text data to your server, and you can process it there. Well, that needs Adobe Reader because Apple's preview app doesn't implement this.
That is a good one. Yeah, see, I like that because they get the PDF, they open the PDF, but then you don't have to retrieve it from people. Because remember, we deal with still a lot of people that, while we're technical, they are frequently not technical people, and so getting a PDF back from them and not having the PDFs cropped or scrunched or encoded or zipped or some unsavory thing happens to PDF. If they could just fill something out on the PDF, hit submit, they're done. It's almost like a way of trying to get them to go to a web page, right?
So let's say you actually buy a license, and you come to the script to initialize, and then you look for the place to put your license key, and that would be here. And the initialize call goes a parse and the license key. For the parse, I can tell you, for newer customers, I just tell them, put the DynaPDF library where the plugin is. So if you go to settings and plugins folder.
Margaret, we need this.
So you have an extension folder. And my extension folder is actually empty because there's another extension folder here for FileMaker 18. No, this one. So there is an MBS extension folder. No, there's an extension folder for all FileMaker version because MBS Plugin supports several versions. So it's the same plugin for several versions. And you can actually put the library in the same folder as the plugin. And then if you initialize, you don't need a parse. You can just say here parse is empty and find in plugin folder.
So back up. Can I ask a question about this? So because I've got to roll this out for me and Margaret on the DynaPDF thing. The DynaPDF is a bunch of stuff, but it's really one file at the end of the day. Is it just one file? That's that one right there? Okay.
There's a Mac file, there's a Windows file, and we even have a Linux file.
So the DLL is the one for the Windows, and that's 64-bit or 32, or there's a 32 right?
64-bit. There's still a 32.
Okay, for those of you
still included if some people are on very old Windows versions.
So if I tell the customer to back up to update, like I have a routine in BVA where they can we're testing this, get a updated plugin from me, and we download it, but we would really want to license the DynaPDF to them and then have it installed there as well. Is that what we would do? We would have it installed in their extensions folder? Okay.
Yeah, so you can have this library files in a container field if you want. And write it to a temporary folder when you start the solution, or write it in the plugin folder here, whatever you like.
Yeah.
And then just tell the plugin where to find it, and we can load it.
Yeah. Because we have a process where we, like you're on 14 dot whatever you are now. Are we on 15 or we're still on 14? We're on 14, right? 14, what's our current release?
So you
number?
can ask the plugin here. You can use here MBS plugin.parse. Ask the plugin where is it. So the plugin tells you where it is, gives you a file path, and then you can use this path to just replace the plugin name with the DynaPDF library name, and then you can use a function like container white file to just write the container with a library, well, pick the one for Mac or Windows, and write it to the disk. And so every time your solution starts, they can have the newest version if you want. Another
Mike,
thing someone asked it yesterday was about if you get a license key from us and what to do with the license key. And I told people, well, that's in the email. Let's say you got a license key from us, you get a nice email like this, automatically generated. And so there's a call for register, and there's a sample script. So you may want to write a sample script like this. So you can say if the plugin is not registered, and then if you're on the server, you do use the server key. If you're on FileMaker Pro, you use the seeds key. And then please check the result. If the plugin complains for any reason, like your key is too old, please show a dialog. And on the server, please send yourself an email or log it somewhere so you notice if the license is expired or something else happened.
okay,
And
this
this
is
sample script is built by our database, depending on what license you have. So if you have a server license, it will include here this if line.
I have a dumb, totally unrelated question because I'm busy here scrolling through the list of everything. How does the keychain stuff work? Because that drives me nuts sometimes. Like, oh, since I've saved the password, they should be saved in my Mac keychain. And I wanted to go check in my keychain because I forgot the password. And it's like, eh.
The idea here was we would like to know if the user has a password in the keychain. We would like to add a password or delete it or update or list it. So this function should find all the FileMaker databases in your keychain. I don't actually know if it will show something, and let me see. Let me see first privately. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, that'd be a bad thing to broadcast. Just occurred to me.
Yeah, it shows me a list of about 20 different databases. Yeah, so you can try it for yourself. Just run MBS keychain list databases. It should find quite a few.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's fun. Didn't even know that existed.
Then you can also ask it for accounts. It will find different accounts in your for a database. Yeah.
okay. Can I
add password? So this is a good thing, because if you want to add a password by script, you can do that.
I have a quick question real quick. So there's this kind of conversation going on, like people saying, hey, we'd love training videos and all these things, but you don't really do training videos. You come on the show, which is the training videos. If people want to find a function or a feature, let's just cover this, repeat this once again. If they're looking for something and they haven't seen the show or seen a topic, how do they find, like, how do I do interaction with a scanner? How would I hunt for how to scan directly into FileMaker or something? How do I go to your, so we go
Yeah,
to,
you would usually just say FileMaker, scanner, Mac maybe, and you would Google for it, and you may find MBS things quite quickly.
No, I know, but let's just say we're going for the MBS answer here, because we know the MBS does it. So how would we find
at
plus
MBS?
Okay.
Just Google for it.
Okay.
So you find here image capture component. Those are the scanning functions for Mac in this case.
Okay. So you
Or
have
you can
right
go
there
to
on the
the
left,
Windows
you have FileMaker blog. And then where are all the sample files again? If we want to see where all the sample files
Here,
are at, right there,
examples.
examples. Right. So
this is a list of all 600 example files.
yeah, Larry, I'd be inclined to do a search on that sample files, because normally if you get a sample file and it works, like I was having this conversation with Claris about Studio, and they were having a hard time understanding what I was saying, which was this idea that there's no built-in repository of knowledge anywhere about FileMaker for Studio, for the new product they have. So if I get stuck, there's nowhere to go. And with this, there's a huge repository of stuff to hit with this, with the Monkeybread. So
usually people Google for something, how to do something in FileMaker, or ask their favorite bot about it. And then usually with a few questions, they end up on our MBS site.
Yeah, I have that same problem. I ask questions and I get my own videos. I'm like, dude, if I knew the answer, I wouldn't be asking you. So I needed to like omit anything that Richard's ever done when I ask a question. Well, that's pretty awesome. We're coming up to the end of the hour here. Anything else anyone has? Mikey, Mike, you have a question? Alpha Coburn's quiet. Rick Fosma from YouTube says it's very interesting. What David Angel wants to know is what is auto.backup?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Do you have a function called auto.backup? Oh, audit.
Oh, audit, yeah.
Yeah, welcome
So,
to autocorrect screwing things up.
Yeah, so we have audit functions. So things you may want to audit are changes in the database. But sometimes we have this idea that you want to log a record before you edit it. So we have this backup function, which basically does the same as changed, but it will use backup as the action. So you can say, I'm not sure if the record is in the audit log before I edit it. So just go and trigger it to add it to the log, make sure that it's in there, and this then allows you later to track the changes. So this may be something you call when you go to a record and start editing. So it logs things before you edit it. And this may help later if you have a delete or a change later, then there's actually data to go back to. Right?
Yeah, there's a new audit thing that's come out with FileMaker, this transaction thing. So we have an audit coming up that doesn't have anything to do with Monkeybread, but I'm always kind of
torn. You can still combine it. Like if you go to the block and say on what was it, on window transaction?
Yeah, on window transaction. Oh, there we go. Thoughts on window transaction. There we go.
Yeah, and you can just use this event and then dump the stuff into a MongoDB, for example. We have made several examples about this. So once you get this JSON from FileMaker, you have to do something with it.
Yeah.
And you can use MBS functions to write it to a text file, to put it in a SQL database, to send it to MongoDB, to make a curl request in the background. That's another one here. What was it?
So you're saying you pushed a curl request to a log server or something like that?
Let me see. Here, send audit log via curl in background. That we take the data from on window transaction, we put it in a curl request, and we perform it in the background. So the user doesn't need to wait. So FileMaker may show a dialog, and this runs in the background, and eventually, if it succeeds, we will just release the transfer. And if it fails, like if we can't connect to the internet or to the server, then we can run a script to do other things. But the key thing here is the user doesn't have to wait for this log script to finish. So if the server is slow and you're on a remote location and this logging may take 3 seconds, then you don't want to wait.
All right, so I'm going to land the airplane here. I want to thank Christian for coming on the show. More importantly, if Christian could go up to the top of his webpage here, if you're interested in learning more about the Monkeybread plugin, right? And I'm not making any money on this. You know what I'm making out of this? I'm being successful. You can come over here, hit the buy it now button. If you could do that for me real quick, you'll see how inexpensive this is. So up to 5 seats. 5 seats is 149 total. Once again, this is a little confusing. So that is basically you take the 5 divide.
I put it here.
Okay, there you go.
For 20 users, plugin is
it's $1. It's $1.25 per month. So basically, for $1.25, you can increase your chances of success with the FileMaker platform by about 10,000%. So you don't have to say no to your customer. It is awesome. So what'd you say, $1.25? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
And
please read the list of things you can do here. Long list of things you can do. And this list is sadly not complete because
you keep adding new things. I know.
Yeah, keep adding.
Yeah. The only reason I encourage people is because he puts a lot of time here on the show, and I want to encourage everyone for $1.25. That's not even a coffee. That's not even a coffee. For the price of 1/4 of one cappuccino at Starbucks, you can have awesomeness in your FileMaker product or your solution. So that's pretty inexpensive. A premium product with an inexpensive price. Go to Monkeybread.
Thanks to everyone who is buying a license for the last 18 years.
Yes.
So I have a job.
All right, that's it for today, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. With that in mind, I want to thank Christian Schmitz. Appreciate it. If you have questions about the show, visit fmtrain.tv and/or send an email to support@rcconsulting.com. And that's it. See ya.